welcome to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics. Today is Wednesday, 4 December. I'm your host Daniel, the founder of HM Intelligence, and every weekday we bring you not just the news, but the so what from the events and decisions that shape our world. So grab a coffee and get ready to be informed. In today's update, we're going to be covering the Syrian army has begun the Hama counteroffensive. An assailant is in custody after attempting to shoot a Sikh leader in India. And a Russian woman has been arrested in the US for alleged ties to Russian intelligence. So firstly, Syrian government forces are locked into an intense battle with Islamist rebels led by HTS for control of the strategic city of Hama. The offensive follows the rebels' capture of Aleppo, marking a major shift in the ongoing civil war. Hama's location makes a critical connection point between Aleppo and Damascus, and its symbolic significance as a hub of the 2011 protests against the current President Bashar al-Assad. The rebels' rapid advance, reaching the gates of Hama by Tuesday, underscores their growing momentum and the challenges facing Assad, particularly as the province surrounding Hama is a stronghold of his Alawati base. Recent developments, including reports of renewed Russian airstrikes, highlight the fragility of the Syrian president's hold on the country. Experts have suggested that Assad's control has been overstated, as the recent fighting has resulted in hundreds of deaths, primarily among combatants, and forced tens of thousands of civilians to flee. The clashes reveal the deepening chaos within Syria, with the government struggling to maintain authority against well-organized rebel forces, whose advance could cut off Assad from his crucial support networks in the Alawati community. So what? So far, the rebels have had an easy push, with limited defensive operations mounted by the government forces. It is likely that this was due to their element of surprise, compounded by their external supporters of Russia and Iran being focused in other conflict zones. However, it is possible that this could change as the battle reaches Hama. While the rebels still maintain their momentum, the government forces have had time to prepare their defences, and the Shia militia groups have also reinforced them, as well as units from Hezbollah and Lebanon. This battle is going to be very telling, not only for the future of Syria, but for how much strength Iran and Russia still have in the region, and could be telling of how other situations might play out. And next, a gunman has been arrested in Amritsar, India, after a failed assassination attempt on a prominent Sikh leader. Sorry for the butchering of this name, Sukhbir Singh Badal, at the Golden Temple, Sikhism's holiest shrine. The attacker, who has been identified as a 68-year-old man named Nareen Singh, fired a single shot that missed Badal, striking a marble pillar nearby. Badal, a former deputy chief minister of Punjab, was at the temple participating in a religious act of consecration when the attack occurred. Police quickly apprehended the assailant, and investigations are ongoing. The incident has highlighted security for Badal, a prominent figure known for advocating justice for the victims of the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. This attack underscores the ongoing tensions surrounding the Golden Temple, which has a history of violence, including the infamous 1984 operation when Indian forces stormed the shrine, leading to hundreds of deaths. The temple remains a focal point for religious contention, with leaders like Badal using it as symbolic significance to continue protests and demand justice for past atrocities against the Sikh community. So what? While I'm far from an expert on India, from an external perspective, it seems like India is a melting pot of cultures that at any point could boil over. It is possible that the situation in Bangladesh, where non-Muslims are being reportedly persecuted, has also stirred up religious differences in India. It is likely that this attack will lead to protests and possible violence. And lastly, Noma Zarabedina, a Russian citizen residing in Brooklyn, is accused of working for the Russian Federal Security Services, or FSB, to establish relationships with Americans, such as journalists and military personnel who could be influenced to support Russian ideology. Recruited in 2020 and given the codename Alyssa, she allegedly signed a cooperation agreement with the FSB and was instructed to gather information on potential contacts. While initially she denied her involvement in the FBI, she later admitted to her connections but claimed her intention was to share any valuable information with US authorities. Despite her cooperation, Zarabina expressed confusion over her arrest, speculating that it might be tied to US political transitions. The charges against her stem from her admitting falsehoods during FBI interviews, which is a felony offense. Zarabina's arrest follows years of suspicious activity linked to her prior work for a Kremlin-backed Russian center in New York and her relationship with its chairwoman, a known Russian operative. Once a vocal supporter of Vladimir Putin, Zarabina shifted to an anti-Putin stance after Branson fled Moscow. She subsequently engaged with US-based pro-democracy groups, raising further suspicion. Russian opposition activist Dmitry Valov, who monitored her activities, described her operational behavior as amateurish and shared his findings with the FBI, believing her actions were a mix of clumsy espionage and opportunism. Authorities had alleged that Zarabina attempted to recruit Americans for the FSB while maintaining personal ties with intelligence officers. So what? This is another win for counterintelligence. While it seems highly likely she'll be charged with a more minor charge of lying to the FBI, it is likely that her involvement was much deeper. Though it is likely she was not formally trained, this shows how Russian intelligence is always looking for agents who already have access, even if they lack the skills to get the job done. Thank you for listening to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics, brought to you by HM Intelligence. If you want to support the podcast, tell your friends to help them stay informed, and leave us a 5-star review. Or if you want to learn more about intelligence, why not take one of our courses? They're all online, self-paced and affordable. Thank you for listening. I've been your host Daniel, and I'll see you next time.